Today's video is sponsored by Ritz Auto, located in Paintsville, Kentucky. If you're needing a used car and you want a down-to-earth and quick experience, Ritz Auto is the way to go. Hey guys, I'm back for another review. I had a special request from this vehicle. This guy right here was wanting to know all about this, so let's jump into it. Hey guys, and welcome back. Today we are reviewing a 2011 Ford Escape Limited. Now it says four-wheel drive, but I'll be honest, I'm not seeing a four-wheel drive button. It of course did have front axles, which tells me it does have some type of all-wheel drive, but I am not seeing a four-wheel drive button to take it from two-wheel drive to four-wheel drive. If it does have that, and you guys know that, drop a comment in below here and let me know where this is at. Otherwise, I'm fairly confident this is an all-wheel drive. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into the engine. So the engine is a 3-liter V6, and it's a flex fuel too, so it's not too awful bad. And given that it's a flex fuel vehicle, it can see pretty decent mileage given that it's a small SUV. You'll typically get around 18 city and about 23 highway. Even though it's only a V6, it does come with 240 horsepower, which isn't that bad. Given that it's low weight of just a little over 3,400 pounds, it actually makes for a decently sporty feel. It definitely doesn't feel sluggish. Now, to be an SUV, it's actually pretty small. I mean, driving it right now, it literally feels like it's a Geo Metro. Like, it feels incredibly small, which is pretty confident when you're getting in and out of parking spaces or you're navigating tight traffic areas. Also, given its large windows, it has pretty excellent field of view, especially from the front and the sides. The handling is exactly what you would expect from a small SUV. It does not feel heavy like a big Tahoe or an Explorer, but it's also not a sports car. It's kind of that nice little balance in between. I feel like it's just sporty enough that I could dodge a deer while running 50 miles per hour and not worry too much about flipping it. Now, it does have a very low tow capacity of only like 12 or 1,300 pounds. So, you know, if you're looking for a vehicle that's going to like tow the boat to the lake, or, you know, maybe tow a small camper to go camping or something like that, probably not the best vehicle choice. This is definitely more centralized around more of a small, economical, daily commuter, take the kids to school kind of thing. Now, it does have decent ground clearance. Now, I'm not going to say go take this thing, you know, automatically out to Hell's Revenge, you know, out in Nevada or California or something like that. But I mean, it is all-wheel drive. It does have decent ground clearance. So, you know, if you find yourself in a little bit of a sticky situation, it does feel like it'll probably get you out of it. Now, the transmission, of course, is automatic. It's a 6-speed auto. And I have to say, it is a very smooth shifting transmission. Now, if you're looking for something fancy and luxurious, go ahead and look away. But if you're looking for something economical, something price-friendly, then you're in the right spot. Used, these vehicles typically only range between 5,000 to 8,000, depending on miles, of course. And generally, they're usually found in pretty good shape. This is usually not the kind of vehicle that gets abused a lot. Now, of course, the interior is kind of the stereotypical plastic. Nothing super fancy there, but one thing about it is this type of interior is very durable, especially with kids. Usually makes cleaning messes a lot simpler. Now, as I was talking a minute ago about the simplicity of this vehicle, it kind of translates more also into the features that it has. You don't really have a whole lot of power options, and you don't have like a touch screen or anything like that. But it does have a fairly basic layout. I mean, literally almost every single button that you might need to use on this vehicle is literally all right here. Now for cargo space, you're typically looking at 31.4 cubic feet with the seats up, but with the seats down, you can see 67.2. Okay, so as it pertains to legroom and headroom in the back, it's definitely on the compact side. As long as your driver isn't very tall, your legroom is going to be pretty sufficient. Headroom, though, is a little short, and the middle seat, you're definitely not getting a car seat in there. But as far as comfort goes, the seats are not bad. They're definitely firm, very supportive. And of course, they're made of this like pleather type material, so you know it's going to be very easy to clean and maintain, and that's always a good idea. Now, something that I like a lot, of course, is the sunroof. And of course, with a sunroof, you can always reenact your favorite movies. Hold me, Leonardo. Now, I know I said it doesn't have a lot of cool features, and it may not have a lot, but it does have a couple that I do like. It does have this really neat rear view mirror that, of course, whenever you put it in reverse, you get a nice little backup camera that pops up in its place. And if you get too close to, say, hitting a small child, you get a friendly little warning letting you know somebody's back there. Alright guys, so quick recap. 2011 Ford Escape Limited Edition. 4-wheel drive? I think it's all-wheel drive. 3.0 liter V6. Flex fuel, 240 horsepower, 18 city, roughly 23 highway, depending on how you drive. 6-speed automatic transmission, which, by the way, shifts like butter. It's actually a very smooth shifting transmission. Weighs just a little over 3,400 pounds. Has a typical price tag of around $5,000 to $8,000 used. And with the seats folded up, you get about 31 cubic feet of cargo space. Now, if you have 3 kids, I would probably look something at more like maybe an Explorer or maybe even an Excursion. Those are huge, by the way. But if you've only got 1 kid, or maybe it's just you and your dog, then a compact SUV like this is probably for you. And of course, let's not forget that, you know, it does get much better fuel mileage than, say, a Ford Explorer. At least around this year in price range, anyways. Now, the exterior styling on this is actually pretty nice. I really like all the body lines. I feel like they flow really well. They have just the right touch of sharp angles to smooth angles. And for a small SUV, it kind of looks slightly stubby and muscular, and I kind of like that. So, pros and cons. Cons. Overall, you've kind of got very limited cargo space, and the rear seats are pretty small. If you're tall, headroom is going to be an issue. Pros, these things are pretty affordable. And even though it's a V6, it's not really a slouch. The interior is definitely designed to be economically friendly and very easy to clean. Every single control that you need to operate inside this vehicle is all right here, right in front of you. Pretty easy to see. And of course the fuel mileage is pretty good. Now I know what some of you were thinking. Okay, that's not bad, but for this price range and for that type of fuel mileage, I could probably get, say, something like a Ford Fusion or maybe like a little Focus and get some better fuel mileage and probably be around the same price. Yeah, you probably could, but with this having pretty decent ground clearance and all-wheel drive, this makes for a nice all-season vehicle. It's something that you could drive in the summertime with the sunroof open, or of course with the all-wheel drive, you can safely get back and forth to work even in the snow. So, given its practicality, its cheap price, but its lack of frills, I would put this in the economical daily class. This is definitely one of the more responsible buys that you would have for more of a daily commute car. Oh, and guys, listen, I almost forgot one of the most important features of this vehicle. I know when most people buy a vehicle, they want to know, does this vehicle come with an overhead taco holder? Yes, this one does come with an overhead taco holder. Now, granted, it is a small one. You will not get a full-size chalupa in here, but you can get a regular soft shell Supreme. Alright guys, that's all for me. I really hope that this genuinely professional car review has helped you decide on whether or not you want this vehicle. Yeah, I'm not seeing a four-wheel drive button anywhere, are you? Get away from my car, gremlin. And width-wise, you can easily fit 2 adults back here pretty comfortably, and maybe a small child who's very skinny. As it pertains to comfort and legroom and such in the back, sorry, there was a bee. You like it? Is it funny? You laugh?
No.
You don't remember that from Titanic?
I've not watched Titanic.
Are you recording again? Go ahead and record again.
Yeah, well, I currently am. I've not stopped.
Are you recording?
I've been recording.
Paint me like one of your French girls. Those are all movie quotes. You won't get it.
Hey, guess who's in the bloopers? You. How do I shut this thing off? I can't shut this off.